Welcome to episode 14 of Busted Junk Studio. This is part 6 of the cardboard teleprompter that I'm calling Fiddley Bits. Well, let's take a look at what we got done here last time. This is our monitor housing. Pretty nice. Take a look at this. Get the top comes off. We've put in the mounting platforms for the screws. This is where the Raspberry Pi would go. This is where the power supply would go. I added in another little hole here, which I'll explain in a little bit. But the lid now fits on the top nice, sits in there good, and it's very sturdy. What we want to do is we want to kind of back off the electronics for the moment. Let's finish up some of the mechanical parts that we got to make. We got to make pivot points. To do that, design a part like this, and now we can get this checked off our list of things to do. There's always a few fiddly bits left to tackle. This is why the final 10% of the job usually takes 90% of the time. At one time, I worked for Disney. We were working on the World of Energy Pavilion for Epcot. There were several tasks within the thing. I worked on the ride control system. There were two huge turntables that made up this indoor ride, where wire-guided cars would go on it here, and walls would raise up out of the floor and come down, and there'd be multimedia. Well, anyway, we had these doors that came up out of the ground and went to the ceiling. Each one of these doors had to have an obstruction sensor. If something was on top of the door when the ride control says lift the door, you don't want the door to go up. You want it to go into a safety mode at that point. These doors were huge. They were this wide and, 50 feet long. Several of the doors were a straight shot, and what we'd use is we'd use infrared light beams across the top. And if anything broke the light beam, it'd break the circuit, and then we could get the top of the door cleared off of obstructions, you know. Well, there was one door that was very long, and it was curved. It went like that. It went because all the turntables were round. And this particular obstruction sensor became known as the baby crusher. Yeah. Imagineer humor. And the baby crusher was simply this. That means you couldn't have this door go up. What if a baby crawled out on there during the ride and all of a sudden the door went up and you crushed the baby? Oh my God. You couldn't have something like that happen. And anybody that knows anything about physics, it's real difficult to get light to bend around a curve. And it was always there. The baby crusher was always there to design. Somebody had to come up with a design for the baby crusher. But by the time that I left there, they still hadn't figured out the baby crusher. Now, I do know that the World of Energy actually did open in Epcot, and that they found a way around the baby crusher. But it's these little details that can take an engineering project with reasonable expectations and turn it into a time and cost black hole. So here we go. Alright, so look at this. These look pretty good. And not cut too bad. Let's put them together. And there's, that looks like a lot of glue. Well, that was pretty easy to do, huh? Now all we got to do is make a little circuit board for this thing to mount on. So let's take a look at this here. Well, what we got is we got the Raspberry Pi, and that's where we want that connector. That used to be here. So there's a piece of G10 glass epoxy. I think it's glass epoxy. I don't know. It's a circuit board. Copper clad one side. And we're going to make a little platform for this thing to sit on. Take a look at the height. It's perfect to sit in this hole right about like this, flush with the outside face. That'll put the little legs on the connector right up against the wall. So what we'll do is make a circuit board. 5/8 of an inch. I don't know, 5/8 keeps appearing in this project all over the place. I didn't plan that. It just, things wind up being 5/8 of an inch. I don't know, maybe there's some cosmic significance to that. I have no idea. But anyway. Here's our circuit board. And we have to put a few holes in it and do a little cutting and get the thing shaped up. So let's get down to that. These are absolutely terrible bits. What's wrong with this thing? What kind of garbage is this? See that. It's a little crude, but that's the idea. Now I'll bend these tabs over, solder them onto the copper. What do you think? What do you think? Nice and square? There we go. All bonded in place. Well, there's a few fiddly bits out of the way. You know, there's actually a few more fiddly bits to go. But we're at a milestone in this project. We're at the point where we can physically assemble the whole unit, minus a few things. Take a look and see how everything fits.